I want to talk about 21st century design. So, what do I mean by that? I mean it's a different kind of design. It's not the traditional design where we make beautiful, wonderful objects and wonderful experiences. It's about thinking about design as a way of thinking, a way of addressing the major problems of the world. Because designers have a special way of addressing issues. We call it design thinking, comes under many other different names, but it's what designers have been doing for, well, since the beginning of designers. And in other words, it's not new. It's been around for 80, 100 years. So what is design as a way of thinking? Well, here's how I like to talk about it. And I call this human-centered design. And we'll come back to describe that term later. But it has four important components. First of all, well, it's human-centered. So we always focus upon the people. And that's very important because it's the only discipline where the major focus is about making things that are appropriate for people. Second, we solve the right problem. You know, there are lots of really good problem solvers in the world, the economists, the political scientists, and especially the engineers. They're trained to solve problems. But engineers, they never stop and say, is this the right problem? They give you a solution, but you know, I have a rule when I do my consulting work, which is do not solve the problem that I am asked to solve. That's because usually we discuss a problem by the symptoms. And if you solve the symptoms, well, that's all very good, but the problem comes back. What you have to do is figure out, so what's the real cause? So we have epidemics, especially in cities, not the current epidemic, but just say cholera epidemics. And you say, well, we should go in and treat them and cure the people. Yes, but why did you have epidemics? Well, it's usually carried by poor sanitation. All right, so let's improve the sanitation. Why is there poor sanitation? Well, because the people aren't using appropriate toilets. Well, okay, but why not? Well, because they're homeless. If you want to stop cholera epidemics, you have to solve the homeless problem. The point being, you have to look at what the fundamental issues are and address them. And those fundamental issues are much more difficult than solving the symptoms. But unless you address them, the symptoms keep coming back and back and back. Well, what can designers do to solve the homeless problem? Well, let's go back. What do? We focus on the people. We focus on answering the right problem, the deep underlying causes. Third, we recognize that everything is a system. You can't solve one little piece because everything is interconnected. So you have to really look at the nature of the system. And finally, and this is extremely important, we don't rush to a solution. We know that when we're dealing with human beings and societies and different cultures and political forces and economic factors, that whatever we do is probably not going to be right. So what we do is we try a simple, small intervention. We see what the results are. Then we modify it, and we continually experiment, do an intervention, learn from it, change what we're doing. And slowly we'll get bigger and bigger because each one allows us to do even more the next time, and we'll get better and better. So that's the secret, but it's a hard secret. Because for a problem like the cholera epidemics I mentioned, it could take 10 years to solve. But these are big major problems. They will not be solved overnight. And that's what designers, though, are really well trained to do. Design's an interesting discipline. Designers don't really have any content. The content that designers have and what they learn when they go to a design school and get design degrees, they learn the techniques, they learn the problem solving and problem defining methods. They have a whole bunch of powerful tools. And then, because we don't know the details of healthcare or even housing, we have to bring in the experts. So we have to have a multidisciplinary team where we work together with people from all types of skills. And we have to learn how to work with them and bring together a solution that is most appropriate for the people. And the most important thing, which I'll come back to in a short time, this has to come from the people. If designers come in and look over a problem and say, I understand the problem, here's what you should do, it doesn't even matter if that's the correct answer. It will not work, because unless the people who are being affected understand and believe and accept it, it will not work. So the people themselves have to be part of the solution. And you know what? Quite often, they've already started. We have 7 billion people in the world, and a lot of them are really creative and wonderful, and those people understand the problems they're facing. And a number of those 7 billion have already started creative, wonderful solutions. So instead of trying to come in and say, here's what we say, us experts, foreigners, who don't understand your culture and don't understand your resources and don't understand what you're able to do and what you need, why not let the people lead the way? We see what they're doing, we say, that's really clever. I wonder if you need assistance, we can mentor, we can facilitate, we can bring in other resources. You have difficulty, individuals have difficulty tackling the whole system or tackling the political issues, but that's where we can come in and help. So we call that community-driven design, which is a subset of human-centered design, which, as far as I am concerned, is really about designing for humanity. So human-centered design is a subset of humanity-driven design, humanity-centered design, because we're trying to save, well, the planet.